welcome to my UDL Myths Busters assignment. Today I'm gonna go over 3 myths that I find that make no sense to me, and I'm gonna try to bust it. So my 3 myths that I'm gonna focus on are: UDL is only for students with disabilities, UDL lowers standards, and UDL is only for certain subject areas. Alright, so my first one that I'm going to focus on is UDL is only for students with disabilities. So this is not true. I can remember when I was a student, growing up, I wasn't always the smartest. I was kind of slow to grasp new information. So relating to me, I feel like if I was in the situation in the classroom that the teacher was implementing UDL, I believe I would have been able to be successful in that classroom. And any student would be if UDL is implemented in any classroom, really. The basis behind UDL is that everyone is able to access information in the same way. It doesn't specifically focus on one student versus another, because in reality UDL benefits all learners, not just a group of learners. It benefits every student. The purpose behind it is that every student gets to engage and participate with whatever the teacher is teaching, and the material that's taking place. UDL provides multiple ways to engage, not just one. With more variability, it's more possible that all students get the support that they need. Another myth that I could bust is UDL lowers standards. This is a myth that I completely disagree with. Just because UDL is implemented in any setting doesn't mean that standards are lowered. Again, as stated in the presentation slide, UDL maintains high expectation for all learners by focusing on removing barriers to learning, not reducing rigor. This just ensures that all students get the proper support and meet their expectations. Just because UDL is implemented doesn't mean that expectations are being lowered. It's just ensuring that all students get the proper support that they need. Again, with UDL, it provides a lot of flexibility, and as a young learner, I can imagine flexibility being important. Sometimes I know as a teacher, it's all about routine, especially with ASD students. But many times we need flexibility in order to get things done. Again, so I believe UDL does not lower standards. It just gives students the opportunity to present their knowledge in different ways. For example, if we're doing an assignment on letters, one student can be doing an assignment that is about tracing letters, while another student, it could be about having them work on more kinesthetic approach on letters. So for example, we could have stickers, and we could have the student placing stickers on the scrap paper and forming the letter A or B, while another student traces. Or another student could be writing letter A or B completely on their own. So again, it's just about providing more flexibility to students in the way that they feel more comfortable. And then my last myth that I'm gonna bust is UDL is only for certain subject areas. This is definitely not true. As a special education teacher, my main focuses are on ELA and math. We do science and social studies. And in all those subject areas, UDL does take place. It also doesn't mean that it's just about special education. This could take place in general education classroom as well. So for example, like in math, I like to use manipulatives and also visuals as well, visual representation. For what I'm teaching on that certain day, it could be addition, adding, um, money, coins. Students need a lot of choices, like how I stated before. Many students love visuals and love manipulatives in order to use it for addition. We could use counters for addition, or we could use small teddy bears for addition or subtraction as well. It's important for those students to have, well, for every student, not just special ed students, but for many students, it's important to be able to have access to those manipulatives and visuals as they get to have a better representation of a certain problem, a certain math problem. So again, UDL is for all learners, not just a certain group of learners or for certain subject areas. It's for all learners. Um, and this is important strategies for teachers to use in every classroom, no matter what classroom you're in, general education, special ed classroom. Students just need a lot of flexibility and opportunities to represent their knowledge in different ways. And it also gives them a sense of empowerment when students get the opportunity to express themselves in different ways. Like I stated before, again, like I would with ELA, some students enjoy tracing and love to demonstrate their knowledge by tracing letters or words, while other students might use stickers for more kinesthetic approach, or they could just trace on their own. It all depends on them, on their skills, and what more engages them. Other students could also use painting as well. They could use paint to trace letters or write letters. It just gives them a sense of more empowerment, which is important for them to have. Once students have that sense of empowerment, they feel more engaged and more valued in a way. In the text Design and Deliver, it also states, the design of UDL is such that it can be applied in any instructional setting. No matter your subject area, you make instructional decisions. So this clearly states that it could be implemented in any instructional setting, no matter you're in ELA, math. I could also imagine physical education class. But it was important to point this out as one of my points to bust this myth that is only for specific subject areas, which is not.